isn't just uncomfortable, it's a threat to your existence and survival. If you've spent your whole career being the reliable one, the one who delivers, the miracle worker who finds the way, I need you to hear this. Everything that you did to succeed could be what's burning you out right now, and not for the reason that you might think. If you've always been the one who could handle it, and lately you're wondering why you can't anymore, this channel's for you. I'm Ruth. I have a master's in organizational psychology, and I've spent over 20 years studying people up close in companies and in their lives. And what I've learned is that burnout is not about the workload, it runs deeper. And there's a way back. Let's be clear up front. I'm not here to talk you out of ambition or drive or even follow through. Those things have probably gotten you many wins and where you are today. As a high achieving person, a high performer, a top talent with owner mentality. But here's what I see consistently in my practice: patterns that look like strength from the outside, but are quietly burning people out from the inside. These patterns keep showing up because people keep hearing in different ways that that's the formula for success. And to be fair, it's worked in the past. What are they? Let's name a few. The first one is saying yes. Early in your career, you're told yes opens doors. So more yeses means more opportunities. And that's probably true when you are still learning and hungry for experience. But by mid career, that's no longer a fair trade because you're no longer short on experience. So the same yes is costing you a lot more and buying you a lot less than it used to. But if you keep saying yes by default, you become the default yes person, the one that others hand work off to simply because they need a yes, not because it's yours to own or that it moves you toward what you want. Next is the miracle worker, the impossible deadline, the toxic leader, the project that nobody wants to touch because it's poorly scoped or under resourced or just set up to fail from the start. But some high achievers tend to see this as a challenge rather than a red flag. They said it couldn't be done becomes fuel rather than a warning. And when you pull it off, it feels incredible. People notice, you feel indispensable, but performing miracles isn't sustainable. And I think here's the actual problem. Every time you pull one off, you're training the people around you that unreasonable terms are fine for you. So, guess who they're going to tap the next time there's a similar ask? The third one is moving the goalpost on yourself. How many times have you hit a target and then immediately decided that it wasn't ambitious enough? Some people confuse that with a growth mindset, but I call that a trap disguised as growth. Because if there's never a finish line, there's never permission to celebrate or to rest. It looks like this: you hit your goal and feel good for about 4 minutes, and then you reset and say, okay, what's next? If wins never count, you're just running on a treadmill that doesn't turn off. This pattern is harmful in a sneaky way because it masquerades as drive and ambition and even growth mindset. But there's a difference between healthy growth and constant dissatisfaction. If any of that sounds familiar, I want you to notice one thing. Nothing I described is about being lazy or unmotivated, which is why I always say that the people who are burning out aren't weak. They've been carrying too much for far too long. Your ambition, drive, discipline, even your love for your work aren't the things that are burning you out. What's burning you out is that you're still leaning on strategies that are no longer serving you. So, why does this keep happening to good, smart, well intentioned, self aware people? From what I see, it's largely tied to a fourth strategy that we didn't name. And it's probably the one that makes all the other ones possible. I call it overriding yourself. Overriding yourself means pushing through when your body says stop. And here's the thing, it works. Think about how you actually get better at anything, whether it's strength training or learning an instrument or getting a degree. You have to show up when you don't feel like it. You have to push through the tiredness, the doubt, the discomfort. It's legitimately how high performers operate. Or is it? We'll get to that. But first, the problem with overriding yourself is that when you do it long enough, like any muscle, the more you work at something, the stronger it gets. But this also means the opposite skill of checking in with yourself and hearing your own signals get weaker from lack of use. Here's what worries me having sat with hundreds of people in this spot. When it becomes hard to hear your own signals, it becomes easy to not even notice that you're overriding them. The red flag goes up and you rationalize it. The gut feeling says something is off and you dismiss it. Your body says stop and you tell yourself what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And it always seems like in the moment that it's the smart, sensible, or even strategic thing to do. This is why the advice to set better boundaries or to just say no often doesn't work for high performers, not because they don't know what a boundary is or that they fear pushing back. It's that they genuinely don't feel the line being crossed in real time anymore. They've gotten essentially too good at being uncomfortable. It's a skill so well trained, it's now turned against them. So, what separates the professionals who push hard and stay at the top of their game, say elite athletes? They are the gold standard of discipline. But here's what they do that the rest of us don't. The best ones with longevity don't override their signals, they work with them. They can tell the difference between a signal to push and a signal to stop before an injury. And that discipline extends to their conditioning, their recovery, their aftercare, and their rest. They train those just as hard as the performance, and that's what creates the balance. Most of us don't ever learn that. We just learn to push at all cost and call it grit, discipline, or professionalism. And there's another deeper reason why smart and self aware people keep reaching for outdated strategies. It's because for a lot of high achievers, achievement isn't just something you do, it's who you are. You prove your worth through what you achieve. So the thought of stopping or even slowing down isn't just uncomfortable, it's a threat to your existence and survival. And who in their right minds would choose to be that unsafe? Of all of the outdated strategies that I shared today, I think this is the one that's worth seeing most clearly because only when you can start hearing your signals again can you start making different choices. If any of this sounds like you, I want to make something clear. None of what I described today is about character flaws. They are strategies that have worked under one set of conditions that no longer, when the conditions changed, but that they're still operating in autopilot. Once you see that, you get what you didn't have before, a choice. You can either continue to run the old strategies because they're familiar, and what's familiar feels safe, and there's nothing wrong with wanting safety, or you can start questioning them on purpose. If this is landing for you, I'd love for you to subscribe and stick around. This is exactly the kinds of things that we go deeper on in future videos. Burnout and the way back seen differently. But for now, I want to leave you with a tiny experiment so that you can feel what I described today for yourself. This week, Simply notice, not judge, not to fix, but just to observe which of these things are you catching that are running on autopilot. Maybe it's saying yes to something before you checked in with yourself on your interest or if you have the capacity. Maybe it's signing up to be the hero on something that's designed to fail. Maybe it's finally accomplishing something that you worked so hard for and immediately waving it off and saying, okay, what's next? Or maybe it's another strategy that used to work and doesn't anymore. You don't have to change anything yet. Just look and see what you notice. This is important because you're gathering your own data. You're seeing for yourself, one, if you are doing any of these things, and two, whether it's actually working for you, not because some lady on the internet said it is or that it isn't. This data can only come from yourself and will inform what you do next. If you want more, I broke down 5 traps and 8 ways to start shifting them in a post that you can read anytime. I'll link it somewhere below. Take care of yourself as you would a good friend, and I'll see you next time.